How y'all doing, Grace? Great to see you. Here's your pastor again, Southern accent, cheesy dad jokes with another episode. I decided to invite my best friend, my beautiful wife that everyone loves.
Hi, friends. Good to see you.
We know that some of these episodes will be a little bit silly, sometimes serious. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about something that's really near and dear to my heart, and that's the subject of marriage. In my training and reading and counseling, I've devoted a lot of time and thought to just this important thing. It's one of the most foundational aspects of our society and our life together, and that's marriage. And then also family. And perhaps with all the stress of the coronavirus and being sequestered alone at home, has maybe that's provided some extra layers of challenge and stress. Maybe you feel like this guy in a video clip that maybe some of you have already seen.
Because of coronavirus, you are going to be quarantined, but you have a choice. Do you A, quarantine with your wife and child, or B?
B.
Well, just for the record, I don't feel like that guy.
You better not.
On a serious note, I did read a headline last week that was a bit disturbing. It's quite tragic to consider this, but one of the results of the virus in China and all the time that they have spent sequestered and alone at home is that the stress on marriages has produced a very increase in the divorce rate. And so it just got me thinking, right now, if you want to just think about what we're experiencing, even just in normal life, but particularly follow this analogy, if you will. Imagine your marriage is like a bridge. And that bridge is all fine and you think everything's all intact and doing well. But as you drive over at a fast pace, it's fine. But if you drive at a slower pace with greater weight and pressure on that bridge, then you begin to see some of the cracks, some of the fissures, some of the structural issues that might need some attention. So, that's part of what happens. And I must say that I would rather, in the life of our congregation, 10 months from now, to be baptizing some more babies and not doing crisis counseling for marriage. But nevertheless, some of you who have done counseling with me, and marriage counseling in particular, you know that I always start with this passage. It's Colossians 1, the Apostle Paul highlights for us something about the person and work of Jesus. And this is what he says: Christ, this is verse 15 of Colossians 1, is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn over all creation. For by him all things were created, in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominions or rulers or authorities, all things were created through him and for him. And he is before all things, and in him all things hold together. That's very true. All things in our lives hold together. And that's particularly true when it comes to our marriage and our family. We need Christ at the center. We need his wisdom. We need his grace. We need his love. And without that, there's very little hope that it can hold together. So that's where I kind of come to my pitch. I mean, every marriage, you desire that there will be things like joy and intimacy and love. The same with parenting. You would hope there would be things like joy and peace, but sometimes we get stuck and it's hard. And we need refreshment, and we need renewal, and we need some more resources. And so here's where the pitch comes in.
So Troy and I, for several years, really, we've tossed around the idea of doing some kind of conference, parenting or marriage, and we thought that now would be a good time, with having extra time on our hands and being together so much, that we would do something like that. So we're going to start with marriage and then do also a parenting conference. But we thought it would be neat to start with marriage because even as there's a great quote by Paul Tripp who said, long term, the greatest gift you can give your kids is a beautiful and loving marriage.
Yeah, and I've read dozens of books literally on the subject of marriage. And quickly, what I've picked up recently is probably going to be my favorite, and that's a book by Paul Tripp called What Did You Expect? Redeeming the Realities of Marriage.
And I do love reading parenting books, and I've read quite a few. And there's another great one by Paul Tripp called 14 Gospel Principles That Can Radically Change Your Family.
Now, you might be really ambitious and studious, and you might pick up both these books and read them. But we would love to start with just whetting your appetite for the kind of teaching that you get from Paul Tripp, which is very biblically grace-based. And what we're going to do is they offer this this streaming opportunity for folks to go on at their own time, at their own pace, to log in, and you can watch 4 talks on marriage. Not super long, not a big commitment. 4 talks on marriage, and then following that would be 4 talks on parenting. And what it would be is an opportunity for you to go in, watch it together as a couple, and then you can have an opportunity to go back on Wednesday nights. We would come together in Zoom meetings, and then we could have some discussion. So what we're hoping to do is on Wednesday nights from 8 to 8:45, some Zoom meetings where you could a Zoom meeting where we could come together and have some reflection and some discussion about maybe what we're learning and raise some questions. So let us know if you're planning to participate. The link will be in the weekly email update going out. So, but let me know. Shoot me an email, and then we can make sure that everyone's on board that wants to participate. We love you. We miss you.
Hope you guys can join us. Bye, y'all.